Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber. Sounds like he's probably in his early to mid 30s or so, and he's from the magical land of California. And he's writing in to all of us, sharing his story, how he and a buddy of his of like 10 years, his weightlifting partner, have now gone their separate ways. They're no longer friends anymore because his now former friend basically broke up with him because he doesn't like his views and his politics and all that, claims he has too much hate. But you're going to see this friend of his has been, over time, been going down the toilet of the stupid toilet of the far left, thanks so much to his wife, and doesn't like this guy's views. And it's not like this guy here is shouting from the rooftop all these things that make the far left crazy. It's just that he has a very practical, pragmatic view on things in the world. And of course, that's the enemy of the far left. Yeah, I know I'm getting to politics here, so all you guys on the left, just keep it cool. Try to keep an open mind here. Anyhow, because this guy doesn't share the same views as his friend, this guy terminated their friendship. And he's writing in about this whole situation and saying how pretty much, look, I'm revoking his man card, and that's that. And that'll be a very good one to go over here, guys, because as you guys go through life, and you will start developing various views and opinions on things based on your life experience and learning about reality. It may not be pretty, but it's reality. There are a lot of people out there that are going to have a problem with your views and opinions. And instead of listening and hearing your views, they're just automatically going to hate you for it. They're going to throw insults your way, even though they can't actually make an actual argument or counter what your views are. They just don't like it, so they're just going to hate you and insult you and all that. And this is what this guy's dealing with here, and also with this guy's, his former friend here's wife. His former friend's wife provoked a fight with him over politics, and I think she did it on purpose to distance those two. And she has a history of this, I might add. And so you guys are going to go through this. Now, that'd be a good one here to show you that there's a point, guys, that you're going to have to cut people out of your life. If you people in your life that are bringing drama and turmoil to your life, particularly nowadays because of a different view on things, unfortunately politics, because this country hasn't been this divided in a long time about everything, then there's a point when it's just enough is enough. Because these people that bring drama and turmoil to your life, or simply just it's their way of the highway, they don't want to listen to your views, you're the big jerk, you're the root of all evil. You can't have that in your life, bringing drama and turmoil. I want you guys to have happy, drama-free lives. And people like this, it's not going to work. And I might add, as the saying goes, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So you got people like that behaving in that way. A lot of these weak-ass, bitch-ass, nice guy types in these stories, it's all going to rub off on you. And there's a point, you got to cut them off. There's a point when a former bro who you really cared about, you can't save them. End of story. You got to cut them. You got to come off like a cancer, you know. And this is something I have experience in. When I started on YouTube, guys that I thought were my brothers, that I thought I'd be friends with till I'm an old man playing shuffleboard in Florida with, they cut me off. Didn't want anything to do with me because of my views and things I talk about on here. Even though I think they'd have a pretty good clue, my views on things, prior to me being on YouTube. And I'm done with them. End of story. Anyhow, it's a good one here, and I think a lot of you guys might click with this because this is something probably some of you guys have experienced already, or most certainly will down the road. So it starts off, says here, hello SSM. I'm thinking my former friend needs his man card revoked. Recently, a good friend of mine, 10 plus years, has told me he couldn't be friends with me because I have too much hate and because I verbally assaulted his girl. So it's not his wife, it's just his girlfriend. Wait till you hear the whole verbally assaulted little scenario here. This came about after what I thought was a minor verbal spat with his lazy, entitled, femtard girlfriend. He goes, yeah, I stepped in by arguing with a woman. But looking at the relationship as a whole, I think this is only a matter of time. My now former friend helped me through my divorce about 7 years ago, and we've been doing weight training together for the past 8 years, with time off during 2020. Okay, so you got some time in there, and that's great. He helped you out through your divorce and all that, but he's gone down the toilet. My former friend, we will call him Jay, and his girlfriend we will call Elle. As a bit of a background, Elle has been trying to get on disability because she has narcolepsy and a couple other neurological problems. That's when you should have told your buddy a while ago, leave this broad. You don't need her. She's going to cause you drama and turmoil, and, well, watch this. The verbal spat came at the end of a recent training session. The session had just finished. I was grabbing my stuff to head out. Elle came over to get something out of her bag, mumbling something about how there should be more money for social services. Are you trying to tell me she thinks California needs more money? Taxpayer money for social services? Really? She said that on purpose. Guaranteed. She said that on purpose. She knows your views on things. She's provoking a fight. And she got what she wanted. To which I responded the effects of, "Are you kidding me? California literally spends billions on their homeless problem." Elle followed up with something about how there are more empty buildings than there are homeless people, and just spiraled from there. She did this on purpose, man. Guaranteed, you fell for it. No offense, but you fell for it. And empty buildings, well, who's going to pay for these buildings? But I'll stick to not politics, but just sticking to the point of the story here. Elle used the typical leftist tactic of barraging someone with unconnected points and arguments, then shifted the goalposts of the argument after I shut her down with a little logic. Yeah, these types don't like logic too much. She then launched into the "why do you hate people?" and then called me an a-hole and told me to F off. So in other words, you said your piece, and she couldn't find an actual counter to that, so she just insulted you. That's usually how it works. But then followed up with, "I love you," to which I responded, "I love you too, Elle," as I walked out the door and continued on with my day. Yeah, you're about to see the love that she has for you. I didn't yell at her. I didn't call her names. I didn't insult her. I did tell her she oversimplifies things she does not understand, but that was it. And I believe you, man. But regardless, you fell into her trap. I told my wife about the encounter, and she responded with something to the effects of, "What a stupid BIT." My wife doesn't like Elle anyway. I didn't think anything more about it over the next week. During that time, Jay punked out on the gym. Then on a breakfast he and I had been having with a third friend we will call G. Then on Friday, Jay punked out in the gym again, saying he needed to deload. Yeah, something's up. If you've been training together religiously for 8 years and all of a sudden he's punking out in the workouts, unless he's sick, something's up. And we all know he is sick, let's be honest. Then on Sunday rolled around and Jay punked out again. But I asked if I could meet him for a coffee so we could chat. What is he, a chick? It's like, motherfucker, just say what's on your mind. We don't need to meet for coffee. I knew something was up, and I agreed to meet with him. After some basic pleasantries, Jay gave me the whole "too much hate" speech and told me that I verbally assaulted Elle, to which I responded, "Excuse me?" She verbally assaulted me, called me an a-hole, and told me to F off. I'm thinking Jay didn't hear the conversation, or his perception of what was said is unexplainable. No, Jay got his girlfriend's version of the story, and because he's a weak-ass bitch and he's pee-whipped, he's going to go along with her side instead of the bro that he's known for over 10 years and has been his training partner. And by the way, your workout partner, whether it's at the gym or training in martial arts, that's a sacred bond, okay? Not as some girls should come in and tear apart. I took a deep breath and thought for a second, and then I said, "Okay, I'll see you when I see you." I turned around and headed for my car. Good. You handled that right. Walk out. Don't give him the fuel to the fire. Just walk out. Don't waste one more moment of breath on this guy. He doesn't deserve it. He's throwing you under the bus. He's kicking you to the curb over some crazy broad. I've been going through the stages of grief. I was in shock for a couple days. I thought about texting Jay while I was in shock over the whole thing. First stage of grief. But I didn't do anything. After a couple days, I realized I was pissed. Second stage of grief. After realizing I was pissed, I texted G that Jay had broken up with me and asked him how he wanted to handle breakfast on Thursdays. He said I had fun with the descriptor of broke up with me. So you, Jay, your former friend, and G, all these letters here, you all get together on Thursdays for breakfast. So now that you and Jay have broken up, it's going to mess up your breakfast. G responded that Thursday breakfast started with him and I, so worst case, Jay could do it another day. Thursday rolls around, and I show up and go through the standard pleasantries with G, and then he asks, "So what happened?" I gave him the lowdown, and he just started nodding in agreement and told me how similar it was to something he had dealt with regarding Jay and Elle at the end of COVID. So this other friend dealt with the same thing. Imagine that. The same girl that provoked a fight with you did the same thing to your other buddy a few years earlier. You just didn't know about it. G went hard into what BS the lockdown was and everything like that. J and L took that personally for some reason and didn't talk to G for about a year. He says they were some of the most vaccinated people I know, and they were total hermits during 2020 into 2021. I knew some people like that literally hunkered down in their foxholes for like 2 years. G's prediction is that Elle will do something to piss Jay off, and Jay will then eventually want to start hanging out with me again. Nope. Not happening. He has shown his hand. Some people may think I'm being too harsh with that. Well, most of you won't, but some of you will. No. There's times when you will try to save a brother, try to help him out, and as a good friend would. And there's other times when you realize that enough's enough. They cross the line, or they're beyond saving. Just how I say you don't white knight the girls, there's a point you don't white knight the guys either. Because these guys, the gals nowadays that don't like my type of material here, you know who's worse? The male guys, the male feminists, those types that hate my work. They're worse. They're beyond redemption. And that's what sounds like Jay has become over time. She wore him down, but he was a weak bitch, and she knew it. She was able to get her claws into him. Since our breakup, my opinion of Jay has dropped significantly. I knew he was sensitive about his political beliefs. Anybody that gets sensitive over politics and can't talk about things and all that, that says everything to me about who they are. And he's pretty well informed about the party he supports. I'll let you guess which side of the aisle he's on. Yeah, I think we all get that. But I didn't think he'd pull a bitch move like this. At least not without getting my side of the story. Anyway, he didn't. Your buddy, 10 years. Your training partner, your bros, wouldn't even listen to your side of the story. He immediately took his harpy girlfriend's side. And she's his girlfriend. It's not like she's his wife or anything. But she might as well be. In fact, if they're living together, guess what? Common law marriage. Instead, Jay just assumes it must be my political beliefs that are making me thinking the way I do, and moped around for a week before cutting me out of his life. When I first met Jay 15 years ago, he was actually very little libertarian in his views. When I started hanging out with him regularly about 10 years ago, during my first marriage, he had been dating and living with Elle for a year or two. Okay, so he's been with Elle for a while, but regardless, bros before hoes. I'm pretty sure he had moved into his house not long after they met. Looking back, I'm pretty sure I watched Jay's masculine spark slowly die, probably ground down by Elle. He still lifts weights regularly, but he's become directionless and lets Elle take advantage of him. Of course, he's a weak guy, and she's worn him down over time. I don't care if he hits the gym. I don't care if he does kickboxing, Krav Maga, all that stuff, and whatever. I don't care how tough he is on the outside. He's weak, a weak bitch on the inside. Jay has complained to me, like a whiny woman, on numerous occasions about how Elle doesn't take care of herself. Shocker. Would do things that threw her body out of whack with all her meds, and doesn't do any housework or even take care of her dog. So her employment is always not consistent. She doesn't take care of herself physically, doesn't do any housework, doesn't even take care of the dog. So guess who takes care of everything? Jay. Jay's a weak bitch. She's had his number for years. Why do you think she's still with him? Because he can do everything for her. Meanwhile, Elle has never been able to hold down a job in the time I've known her. Jay paid for her to go through a welding program, which she graduated from, and then got a job and was fired. Then Elle got another job and was fired. Supposedly, Elle's conditions keep her from putting in a full day's work or something. And this is the gal, of course, who believes that California needs more social services to take care of people like her who are lazy as fuck and don't want to do anything and expect that she deserves a living. From all the guys out there that get up at the crack of dawn every day and work hard, and they make a living for themselves, and their extra tax money can go to assholes like this. Yeah, you can see I'm in a mood today. Jay has told me on numerous occasions that he's thinking about leaving her. Well, that's the smartest thing Jay said in this entire thing. but that he's afraid of what she might do. Not his problem, but typical nice guy talk. I've told him it's not his problem what she does if he leaves her. Looking back, I didn't realize Jay was such a nice guy, but now that I'm a recovering nice guy, I see the signs and behaviors all too clearly in him. Right. And I respect that this dude who wrote this in is admitting, yeah, I used to be that way. And notice, yeah, as you have shed your skin of your former ways, your eyes are wide open, the red pill, and seeing things as they are, and seeing how you made mistakes, and now you see where you screwed up in Jay's problems, right? And the problem is, as you have evolved, he's devolved, you can't be buddies. It's not going to work. It's going to rub off on you. Jay sees me on my purpose, martial arts, cybersecurity work, being a strong father for my son, while he's in a job that pays him well, 150K range, and he's got a lot of stock in crypto, but he's miserable. Jay wants to invest in some rental properties, or at least he did, and make a living with that. But Elle doesn't want to be a landlord, probably her socialist ideals and general laziness. Yeah, she probably thinks landlords are evil, and don't get me wrong, there are some evil landlords out there, slumlords and all that. But you want to be a landlord in California? That should be fun. So anyway, if G's prediction comes true, I'm going to lose even more respect for Jay. I realize I don't need that shit in my life. You don't. As all guys don't need shit like that in their lives. Even if Jay comes back with a massive apology and reclaims his man card, I doubt I will ever want to spend time around him going forward. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with after all. It does suck losing a bro, but it does open opportunities to spend time with other bros. Yes, that's the way you gotta look at things. Thank you for everything you do, SSM. You've been a big help on my journey thus far, Brandon. Well, Brandon, I'm glad you wrote in your story, and this is something many guys can learn from. Like I said here, our guy here, Brandon, sounds like a cool dude, and he's been patient with Jay and seen what's been going on, and obviously he's known his wacko girlfriend for a long time, but just the way, there's some points when just enough's enough. And right there, that stupid fight, which I'm convinced she started on purpose to draw a wedge between you two, so she can have Jay all to herself. She did it on purpose, and that guy didn't listen to your side of the story or take into account you've been friends all along, and he's breaking up with you, even though you've been buddies for, you've known 15 years, close for 10 years, weightlifting partners for 8 years. Just like that, he tosses you aside because of your hateful views. Just because your views don't go align with his. That's the world we're in today. And at this point, yeah, you made the right choice, and I wouldn't take him back either. Because like I said, I'm all for helping bros in needs, but this guy doesn't want to be helped. He sees you as the bad guy, okay? And like I said before, and I've mentioned this in other videos, I had a group of guys that were like, I thought were my brothers. I trained with for years in martial arts. We always hung out all the time. I knew their families. Everything, gotten together countless times on vacations together. And once I got out what I was doing on YouTube, because I didn't shout it from the rooftops in the beginning because I know what would happen. I didn't want to tell everybody what I was doing on YouTube in the beginning just because I was seeing what would happen, you know. But eventually got out and then just done. After just like that. And the thing is, when it happened to me and I realized I didn't need them in my life either, I wasn't angry. I wasn't, I was disappointed. I sound like a parent. I was disappointed that they didn't even hear my side of things. It's just, that's it. Different views. And it's not like these guys were raging liberals or anything. It's just that they had wives and daughters and didn't want to hear that women could behave in a way which we all know darn well, many, not all, many, can behave in. As well as my views on things. And that's what happened. And you know what? If each and every one of them suddenly texted me right now as I'm filming this video, hey, I was wrong, I was a jerk, that I would say, hey, I wish you well, but no, we're not hanging out anymore. I wish you the best, but not happening. I don't need that bullshit in my life, because it would be bullshit in my life. I would rather have less friends, but people that I can truly count on and that have my back, than people that are going to pull shit like this, like your ex-friend Jay. So do not take him back into your life. And it'll just be more turmoil, because that Elle chick ain't going anywhere. And even if he broke up with her, he's still the same weak-ass person. He's going to learn either he's going to learn the hard way and come around, but not with you in his life, or he's just going to stay with her and she'll just wear him down, take advantage of him, and probably leave him in the gutter for some other sucker. Who knows? But it's not your problem anymore. So you, as you said in the thing, and for all the guys out there, when one friendship ends, with someone like in a situation like this, it opens the door for other great people to come in your life, you know, because people are, everything in life, guys, there's nothing really permanent. If you think about it, people are going to come and go in your lives, you know, you're going to live in different places in your life, you're going to have different jobs, different people, blah, blah, blah. If you get too attached to people or places or things, you're going to have a hard time, because there's not really anything permanent in life. There's no death and taxes. That's pretty much what's death, taxes, and war. That's the things you can count on, the certainties in life, you know. But and again, guys, for all you, and I know I'm talking here, but I'm in the mood to talk, and I'm going to say this: as you guys are on your path of self-improvement or waking up to reality, a lot of people aren't going to like that. A lot of people in life, honestly, are just like are turds floating through life, like turds floating down the sewer. And with you trying to make something of yourself, self-improvement, be the best you can be, and they're not doing anything in their lives, they're going to be jealous of that and try to sabotage. You don't need people like that in your life. You got to cut them off. Or people that are just going to bring a bunch of drama in your life, or they don't like your views on things and are trying to shame you and all that. You don't need that, because it's going to rub off on you. And it's hard. You don't want to, people you thought you were your friends, it's hard. And you'll be very disappointed to see when they showed their hand, but that's life. And it's better to be alone than to be around people and bring a bunch of fucking drama in your life just so you can have somebody around. You know, get a dog, get a couple dogs, get a couple cats, be like me, you know? So I think you handled it right, bro, and I do wish you well. And that guy Jay is going to learn the hard way. Mark my words, and he will be back down the road, and I wouldn't take him back. I wouldn't be nasty to him. I wouldn't be, F you, motherfucker. No, I would just say, look, man, not happening. No. And if you want to explain yourself, go ahead. If not, then don't. It's not your problem. So, bro, I wish you well. And maybe you can get out of that crazy state of California, because it is imploding. Good Lord. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think. Let this guy know, do you think that he's making the right choice? Well, that's it. He's done with Jay. No more. And even if he came back apologizing and ditched the bitch, if he's made the right choice of saying, nope, not happening anyway, let me know. You may disagree with me. You think maybe I'm being too harsh, which does happen sometimes. But let him know. And I'd also like to hear in the comment section, because I'll read these, have you guys had situations like that in the last few years? Have you guys had situations where you've cut people off, or people have broken up with you because they don't like your views on things? Just simply looking at things from a different perspective, a more practical, realistic perspective. And I don't want to hear that. I'd like to hear that in the comment section. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.